Hey guys, welcome back to the edit place, and got kind of a new setup here. I feel like Sean Evans with the whole this camera, and that's not a camera, that's a screen. But anyway, I got a bunch of cameras and monitors set up to make this a little bit more appealing. Speaking of appealing, if you haven't already checked out one of my latest videos, which should be out as long as YouTube publishing is back to normal, you should see this on my channel. If you haven't already checked it out, definitely give it a look after this video. But I'm excited to start kind of this new series that is inspired by 𝗚𝗘𝗙𝗥 and their whole VFX artist React. I've always hated React videos because most of the time it's kind of pointless because you're watching content and then watching someone just have a reaction to it. Can be funny. There's potential there. But usually it's just dumb, right? But what 𝗚𝗘𝗙𝗥 does is actually provide value and input from their perspective as professional CGI artists. And so I wanted to do the same for you guys in hopefully trying out new pieces of software. And so what this series is all about is basically myself as a professional editor. So we're going to be tackling a lot of the best apps and other video editing software out there that you as a either creator, maybe you're a business owner and you're just trying to create little ads in social media, or you're just getting into all this stuff and you're constantly being fed ads talking about all these new pieces of software that are apparently so great that you should jump on. So we're going to be doing that. And today I'm going to leave DaVinci here. Let's jump into today's program, which is going to be Filmora Pro by Wondershare. Now, this is a program that I've been fed ads myself for, and it kind of advertises itself as a video editor for everybody. Now, they have a couple different versions. They have Filmora 9, which is video creator for all creators, and Filmora Pro. You can download free versions of any of these to test out. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Filmora Pro, since I imagine as a pro editor, I just want to see if this is comparable. And the whole point of this series is to basically give my first reaction to using these programs that if you go to a professional editor in like Hollywood who's probably using Avid or maybe DaVinci or even Final Cut or Premiere, and you go, what do you use? And you go Filmora, probably going to be like, what the hell is that? Or laugh in your face. But I want to see, can this actually hang with the big guys? And that's what we're going to look at now. Now, I've already downloaded the free version of this, but just to take a look at pricing in comparison to everything else, this is quite interesting because if you look at here, you can buy the whole thing lifetime for $150, or you can do $90 a year. I have no idea why you would do that. That seems really dumb. And $150, again, we'll get into the software. I'll see if it's worth that price, because again, you have Premiere is the most expensive because that's going to run you a monthly subscription, and it's around like anywhere from I think like $400 to $700 a year, depending on what you get. But DaVinci and Final Cut are $299 for a lifetime license. Now, what is interesting here is if you look at the comparison, they actually give you all the features even on the free version. So the only thing you're paying for is to remove the watermark and then free tech support. So I guess if you need someone to handhold support, could be helpful. We'll see what kind of watermark it is. If it's something that's like right big in the middle of the screen for the whole video, then I can see why you would definitely want to pay. But if it's just like a thing on the end or the beginning that says like Filmora, jumps on the screen and then whatever, you could edit that out so easily on your phone. Let's open this guy up. I have not opened it up at all, so I don't even know what we'll get hit with here. Takes a while to open. There we go. So basically what I'm going to be testing out here is, I know that if one of my clients hit me up and said, hey, we need a super fast like social media or just kind of basic ad thrown together, I could really throw something together in about an hour if needed be. And so I want to see if this is comparable. Will it have the same sort of features and effects that I'm used to? And okay, so we pretty much get a full screen thing here. I'm going to go create new project. And I really don't know why this thing is lagging so much. I don't have anything intensive open. OBS saying my CPU usage is 13%, so it shouldn't be that. And as you guys saw a couple minutes ago, I was running DaVinci just fine. So with that, we'll try it again here. Super fun video. How you doing back there, Camera B? Been sitting here for about 5 minutes and still won't open, so I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt. I don't think there's any chance that it just doesn't work at all. So we're going to delete it, and then we're gonna just redo this process and wait for the package to download. While we're waiting on this to finish up, just want to say I redid my desk recently and went with a vertical monitor for my secondary, and it is life-changing. If you do any sort of coding, video editing, a lot of different productivity uses, vertical monitors, 10 out of 10 recommend. Yay, you just successfully installed Wondershare Filmora Pro. Let's try again. Logo came up a little bit faster. Create a new project. That's all I want to do. This video is going amazing. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more thrilling content such as this. By the way, open existing project that launches. That opens right away. So if you've been using it, you're good. Maybe if I trick it, I go file, new. All right, I'm giving up on Filmora Pro. So now we're going to try Filmora 9. I was actually needing to do a client video. Yeah, I would have jumped to another program about 20 minutes ago. Video was literally turning into one of those React videos that I didn't want it to be, where it's just me making a bunch of stupid faces at my computer because software is being really stupid. Congratulations, you have successfully installed Wondershare Filmora 9, and hey, would you look at that? It looks like a video editor has popped up. So here we have the interface, has a very cool like greenish tint vibe to it. I'm down with that. Now, what I always say to new video editors is the one thing I love is pretty much everyone creates their software to look the exact same way. If you remember from Resolve at the beginning of this video, if you work in Final Cut, Premiere, any of the other NLEs, you will notice that you have your timeline or source viewer over here on the right. You have your media and imported assets and whatever on the top left, and you have your timeline below. Pretty much every single NLE is set up the exact same. Now again, you'll see people customize multiple monitors showing different boxes in different places. It can get more intense, but pretty much every single piece of software out there starts with this layout. I can see at the top I have a media tab, I have an audio tab, which looks like this is music. Guessing it comes with like copyright free music. That's pretty dope. If we go under titles here, oh, ton of built-in stuff. Get some templates. This is definitely some modern social media type stuff. The question I have is like DaVinci, man, you can really go in and take apart stuff. So I can drag this. So this isn't a magnetic timeline like Final Cut, which basically if you drop something on the timeline, it will always go to it will snap essentially as far left as possible to kind of stack everything together. This is like most NLEs where you can basically place something wherever you want. If I put my playhead over here, it does look like it does background renders. We can see this green bar filling up out of the red, so that it's going to play back more smoothly. Now, if I click on it here, usually we want to look for some sort of inspector. Okay, getting the hang of it here. So basically what happens, also that's interesting, the playback is super low res. I'm sure I can change that somewhere, but for now it's fine. So basically this is kind of like Final Cut where you basically interact with it right in the preview pane. So I can click right on this text here, double click. Okay, and it brings up the editor in place of the media bay. And so I can go in here, change this. Of course, you can change, let's see, fonts, colors, alignment, all that good stuff, transform. rotate, blending modes, that's all fine. Change different type. You can change the animation. All right, so this very much reminds me of Premiere's title kind of inspector thing here. And so I can go in here and customize. Can I move this around? Play back. Okay, and it shows up then. Okay, so obviously the background is a solid video. Could I remove that if I didn't want it? Delete button. All right. So now if I hit OK, I just realized all my footage is pretty much B-raw footage. Nope, does not support B-raw. Not a shock, neither does Final Cut Pro. I'll just bring in a finalized MOV here. All right, so now I have my fancy title here. So it should be transparent. And it is, would you look at that? So titles, pretty customizable. That's pretty sweet. I do love when places come with a ton of different presets. So if you are the person that can't create, you know, you're not a designer, you can't create these things on your own, you can either go a full template like this, or you can really kind of go in there and customize it. You can't go in, it looks like, and completely change all the elements. It looks like you can really just adjust the text, the animation, but the actual background is a solidified, probably just like MOV file. So unlike DaVinci, where those titles and presets, I could go in and make this circle a square or do something crazy. You can really take it apart like an After Effects file or something. This one, you can go a decent amount. So mad respect for being able to customize that. Now, another thing I want to see is how far I can stack stuff. Let's see if shortcuts are the same. So usually B or Command B. All right, so it looks like Command B is the shortcut to make a cut, which I, on my macro keys here, have that set up. So I just want to cut and slice. And basically what I'm looking for is if I can stack a bunch. Cool. So I'm only going up 4 or 5 layers here, but it does seem that there is no at least normal limit to how far you can stack up. For example, like iMovie, one of the limitations is you can't go past I think 2. You can literally have like a roll and then 1 layer of B-roll and then maybe like a title, but I don't believe so. I think it's literally 2, and then they want to jump you up to Final Cut because they think you're some sort of pro. This background render, just like Final Cut, it's very fast and speedy. The interface is very respectable, not having any major lag. Again, this is the already exported file to begin with, and we are on a lower res playback. All right, let's move on here. What sort of transitions? Okay, we got all the basic stuff. Basically, don't use most of these ever, or you will never be taken seriously as a editor. You know, you can do basic dissolves and fades when necessary, but if you start doing star wipes and stuff, just stop. And then we got effects here. These are going to be basic color grades. Again, just like with transitions, you won't use most of these. If you do, lower the amount that it's being used like crazy. Like some of these are fine, probably like film grain, lens flare, light leaks. Yeah, I mean, some of these are very popular. Light leaks is always a huge thing that people love to do. So you can definitely play around in here, but be careful when you start to add these types of effects. You start to look really amateurish, which is why the professional NLEs usually don't come with them. Final Cut does. I think Premiere now has a handful, but like DaVinci, you're not going to really find that stuff. Elements, this is pretty cool. This you will not find for free built in the other NLEs. So these just look like little graphical elements, and okay, by default they're just in the cloud, so it auto downloads it. This is like animate in. I'll let it background render. Okay, does a little animation. Again, how easy is this to scale? Okay, it looks like this is the little inspector. You can scale right there. I can move it around on the actual preview pane. Lens correction, drop shadow, auto enhance. Okay, again, you got pretty decent whatevers. And what I really want to see is some color stuff. So again, if I click on the video and I have the inspector opened up here, which is going to be this icon. What are these other ones? Green screen. Okay, so you have some chroma key, color correction. That's what we'll go to. Adjust speed. It's all normal. Crop cut, all that stuff. Is this going to take me advanced color correction? Is that different than if I select this, go here and go to color? Okay, so yeah, it looks like this is some very basic color enhancements, but I want to see that advanced stuff. Again, it opens a new window. I'm down for that because sometimes you like to have your preview over here and then move this like over to a secondary display. Can I make it bigger? No? All right. And you have an auto button, which I want to punch in the face. You got some presets. Looks like you can import your own LUTs, which is good. It looks like they have some Hollywood style stuff. So you got everything from Batman, 007, Game of Thrones, Gravity. All right, so you got some pretty big names in here, but they have 10 different styles of vignettes. So that's something. But I want to go back to the adjust. So we got a bunch of drop down menus. That's it's a very pretty looking interface. Again, go 3D LUT, you can go color. This is kind of set up how a color board is in Final Cut, where I'm not seeing your traditional 3 color wheels for your shadows, midtones, and highlights, and gamma and all that stuff. So here it looks like you pretty much just have some basic sliders. So for what it is, I like it, but the fact that it doesn't have those color wheels, at least that I'm seeing very easily, that's a little bit of a disappointment to me. I do like that I noticed if you hover your mouse over the time code at the top, of course you can drag your playhead around, but if you're not on that and you click to the right, you zoom in, left you zoom out. One thing going back to the media page that I didn't really spend a lot of time on is the organization, which when working on bigger projects is incredibly important. So let's see what we can do here. Looks like you can do some built-in recording, edit tools, so nothing up there. Can I right click? Nothing to right click, shared media. Here we go. Folder. So you can add there. So I can go project media, folder here, and I can go, B-roll. All right, so you're certainly not going to get any sort of like tagging or advanced stuff that, for example, Final Cut has some of the best organizational tools, or like smart bins in Resolve. So you're not going to get that stuff in here, but at least you have a basic folder and project structure. And then last but not least, let's say this was our project that we are all completely happy with. Go over to export and see what those options are. Again, it's going to give us the good old pay page. So if you want to do all this, free plan. All right, let's see. So kind of like the other ones, you have specific presets based on devices. You can go right to YouTube, which so many offer, or Vimeo, or DVD. Wow, I haven't seen this in an export menu in forever. I don't recommend going to any of these. I personally just like doing a specific file, so I can do my awesome movie. I'm sure my microphone is ruined by this keyboard. Save to, apparently it creates an output folder. I just like going desktop, resolution, settings. I want the best quality. There you can do custom, so that's nice. So for example, if you're doing like vertical video, you could have like a 1080 by 1920 rather than 1920 by 1080. Encoder, H.264, sure. Audio, that's all fine. And export. So we're exporting here and it's going very well. I'm going to cancel here because we don't need to see all that. We know what the file's going to look like. Total hot garbage. But there you have it, guys. That is my take on Filmora 9. I wish we could have tested out Filmora Pro to see what differences there are. Maybe I'll get it working for next time, but that program would not launch. Re-downloaded it twice, tried for about 10 or 15 minutes to get it going, but it wasn't having it. So instead we checked out the creating software for all creators, or whatever its tagline was. So what do you guys think about Filmora? Have you ever used it? Have you tried out the free version? Is it worth it? I didn't even check to see what the watermark was. Ugh. Okay, let me render it real quick as I finish my outro. So do I think this is going to replace any options for Premiere, DaVinci, Final Cut, Avid? 100% not. If you're already using one of those, of course you're not going to jump from those to this. Makes no sense. But if you are currently using this and wondering if you are getting the majority of the pro features that the other NLEs have, I'll say it depends on what you do. If you are the type of video editor that is just splicing and layering together, maybe adding some music and some basic effects, color grades, and titles, transitions, this seems like a fantastic program. The user interface was very friendly. It's modern, just as fast as any of the other NLEs, so credit to that. The export times seem great, and if I see correctly, it looks like it's putting a watermark right there in the middle of the thing. So the free version is definitely right as I'm giving my opinion. So here's my true thought, specifically based on that watermark. Listen, just download DaVinci Resolve. The free version, you'll get like 95% of the features that the paid version has, and you don't get a watermark on your exports. Basically, the free version of this is to demo everything, play around. You get access to all the features, and you can technically create something, so you can test it all out. But if you really want it to actually be usable, viewable, uploadable anywhere, you're gonna have to pay something. So there you have it. That's taking a look at Filmora. Thanks for checking out the edit place. Hope you guys like this video. I bet it's going to be long because this is about 45 minutes of raw footage, so I have some editing to do. See you guys in the next video.